I was telling Jackie earlier today that when we were doing radio years ago, whenever we tried to get a hold of anybody when it came to doing interviews, we always said, we got to get a hold of the Cop Man, because Cop Man probably has their phone number, because this guy here, and we're not joking, has the biggest Rolodex in radio. You have everybody's number.
Well, it's because I ask for them whenever I shouldn't. Oh, I just gave out the secret.
And people like, who are we talking? Give us some names of the people that you have phone numbers to.
Oh man,
it'd be easier to tell you who you don't have.
I was gonna say I don't even know where to start. I mean, I really don't, because I've got so many phone numbers. A lot of times it's just asking. It's a matter of asking. I know I'm giving away trade secrets, but you know, it's really just, hey. And people are pretty cooperative about it.
But then keeping them organized, too, which you do a very good job at.
Yeah, I put them in a notebook, and then there are days when I go, I want to get a hold of this guy. Now I got to go through, 65 pages, things like that. Thank goodness for phones. Now that cell phones, at least you can stick them in a cell phone. But back in the day, I've got notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks of phone numbers, but the only order they're in is when I got them. Mm-hmm. They're not alphabetized. I tried to alphabetize them, but that was too hard.
But these have accumulated over a very long career.
Oh, yes.
How many years have you been doing radio?
How many years have I doing radio? 40 plus.
40
I started in 1974. Well, I actually started in college, if you want to go back to college, because I started doing a show. It was after Missouri football games, and I'd come in and we'd do a scoreboard show. We started at 6:30. This is after Mizzou games, and back in the day when games all started at 1 o'clock. This was before TV would. So we'd start. So we started a show at 6:30. We'd go till 2 o'clock in the morning. My job was to keep track of scoreboard sheets and trivia questions. So I'd go home. At 2 o'clock in the morning, my roommates go, so what happened in the Temple-Rutgers game today? And I'd go, 35-7. I mean, you'd know every score because you read them 35 times.
That is crazy. Right. So we always joked, you need to do a book, Cop Man. You need to do a book because of so many people that you have hung out with and so many people that you know personally and knew personally.
Yeah.
It's an amazing journey.
And the reason the book came to be was that, I want to get into motivational speaking. I'm trying to do more and more of that. And I know it's a tough nut to crack.
Can you come here at about 5:55 every morning? That would be great.
Motivational speech?
Yes,
sure, I'd be happy to. Just for you guys, I would get up at any time of the day. But, I wanted to get involved in motivational speaking. Like I'm trying to do more and more. So, that's my cheap, shameless plug.
That's fine.
But I was talking to Mike Chapman, who's an author, longtime wrestling historian. You may know. I don't know if you know Mike, don't you?
I think so.
Anyway, and I said, well, how am I going to crack through this, speaking thing? It's hard. I mean, you don't just call people and say, hey, you want to bring me in as a speaker? So he says, well, you need a product. And you are a product. I mean, you've done this for 35, 40 years. Write a book. Then you'll have a product. And a lot of speakers do that, actually. I've talked to a lot of folks who write books.
That's their way in. That's their
right, exactly. Then they get to the speech. Now, unfortunately, these books came last Thursday morning about 11 o'clock. I had a speech at 7 o'clock that morning. I was hoping they'd get there in time, but that's just the way it goes.
Darn it. That's life. So what can people experience? Is this just some stories and the people you've met, or what can we get when we get
Well, there's stories in there. There's my most memorable, well, there's pictures. And, everybody likes the pictures.
Yeah. That's one thing Mike said, I'm going to hold the book up. I'm going to show you Cop Man, what year that you were in Memphis, Tennessee.
1978.
Working, and see if you can guess which guy in the picture is Cop Man in the top picture, Craig.
Look at that.
Wow.
It's Jim Morrison.
Cop Man is right there.
Yes, I had
that's
some hair.
Cop Man right there.
I had some hair back then.
Well, and a beard.
And a beard.
Grizzly
beard.
Adams, man.
And I was in a play at the time. Not only was I a disc jockey, but I was in a play, but I played a Russian peasant. And so I figured, well, Russian peasants probably don't get a lot of haircuts.
Yeah,
right?
probably not.
And that was the all-night disc jockey, and they don't get a lot of haircuts. So I was like, it was back in my wilder days.
Do you have a favorite memorable story that you have in here, one that you can share?
Yeah, I do. My favorite interview, my most memorable interview, is a guy named Charlie Finley, the longtime owner of the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay. I'll try to keep this brief, because what I did was I called the A's, because at one time, they had the Iowa Oaks. They weren't the Iowa Cubs, they were the Iowa Oaks, AAA Farm Club. Okay, so I thought, this is 1981, I'm working Saturday Sports Line, my first talk show ever. So I just said, what the heck, right? I've got free reign. So I called the Oakland A's. I get an interview lined up with Charlie Finley. So Saturday I get in there, and I know there's an Iowa basketball game, so we're going to be on from 4 to 6. Actually, I was a solo act that day, which worked out better. And so I called Charlie's house, and he goes, he answers the phone. And I introduced myself, and he goes, I'm just checking about the interview. He goes, what interview? And I go, oh. He says, I don't know anything about an interview. Well, Charlie was known for being stubborn. He had a mule named Charlie O. And so I knew he was stubborn. I said, I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to keep trying to, I'm not just going to give up on this.
Right.
So I talked him into the interview, right? We start at 4:15 in the afternoon. the show starts at 4. I do sports news. 4:15. I have him on for two 15-minute segments, and I go, Charlie, thanks for coming on today. I really appreciate you. Want to go some more? All right, let's see. Now I have a choice of Charlie Finley or 3 taped fishing reports.
Well, the fishing reports are pretty important. I hope you picked the fishing reports.
No, I bumped him back an hour.
Oh.
Yeah, well. So Charlie goes another 15 minutes with me. Wow. So we get to 5 o'clock now. Natural news break, top of the hour. You guys all know that. And so I say, well, thanks again, Charlie. He goes, well, you want to go some more? I'm going,
are you serious?
I'm serious. And I go, sure. Yeah, absolutely, right? So we go down to 5:15. Now I've gone an hour with Charlie Finley. I'm sure we talked about orange baseballs, neons baseballs.
Because he was known for doing some unusual things.
I was going to say, what do you talk to this guy about?
Yeah.
Well, he wanted neon baseballs for night games. He wanted to change the 4-ball, 3-strike count to 3 balls, 2 strikes. He came up with the uniforms.
To move the game along the more I guess you'd call it flashy uniforms.
Yeah. So he did all those things. So we just keep going. I mean, I don't even know what we talked about. We get to 5:15, and I say, Charlie, thanks again. Really appreciate it. And again, want to go some more? And I said, well, I've got another guest coming up, Bob Golby, who helped start what's now the Champions Tour. And he says, well, if the guy, excuse me, if the guy doesn't show up, call me back. We'll do some more. That blew me away. That blew me away.
And
he didn't even know me. I mean, it's not like, I was one of his best buddies. He didn't even know me. That whole thing.
I enjoyed talking to you.
Right, but I can't tell you what the interview was about. But he hated Bowie Kuhn. Remember, he and Bowie Kuhn, the commissioner at that time, and for those who don't know the story, I mean, he and Commissioner Bowie Kuhn always fought tooth and nail. So they just and Bowie was a good guest, by the way, too.
He's talked to everybody.
He hated Charlie.
But the cover is a great cover here. Look, and I'm going to show this book again one more time, Craig, because the cover has some incredible people on there. First of all, the first picture in the state of Iowa, I don't know if you could find anything better than the first picture up on top there. Look at the cop man. Whew, that's a heck of a picture there, cop man. That's a good mustache you have on there. Hayden Fry, too, of course.
And Hayden Fry.
And then there's your radio partner over on the other side of the book there. Dolph Pulliam. And then at the bottom of the page,
Dan Gable and Dan Hodge, who, by the way, can break an apple with his bare hand.
Wow.
But, I mean, that's the fun. I got to talk to a lot of cool Iowa people, too, and I've gotten to know all the coaches. And, I mean, it's just really a lot of fun.
Do you think it's an Iowa thing that everyone was so open and welcome to have interviews, give you your phone number, or did you experience this all across the country?
I've experienced it all across the country. Like I said, I've got a lot of national, because I did national radio for about 7 years, so I was able to and people are very accommodating. All you do is ask a lot of times. Sometimes you don't, I mean, that's okay, but I always figure the philosophy is like, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Right.
You're not just going to go, here's my...
And you weren't a jerk about it, too.
Tried not to be.
Which is usually very important as well, because even if you got turned down, you'd have another opportunity down the road, which I'm sure
I got twice asked to pay. Pay if somebody would pay.
Really?
Okay. One of them was Bob Feller.
Of course.
But then I said, well, Bob, it's on a WHO, and can we tape some? Oh, yeah, we can tape something. Then Leo DeRocher.
Really?
But, Leo was nice about it. He just said, is there any money involved? And I said, no. He says, well, I can't do it then. But he was very nice of me. He wasn't a jerk like, well, I'm not talking to you. Click. Wow. I once actually got a hold of Joe DiMaggio, which blew me away out in San Francisco. But he said, I don't do interviews. I don't know what way how would he describe it? It was some word other than telephone or something like that. I don't do interviews.
Telephonic interviews or electronic interviews. Okay.
They're giving you the signal.
Well, where can we get this?
You can get. I'm going to have a book signing. Beaverdale Books. Books are at Beaverdale Books, by the way, right now. July 17th, book signing there, and then we're doing one at the Drake Alumni House on the 23rd. We're working on one for Barnes & Noble.
All right. Wonderful. Well, congratulations.
Thanks,
Biggest
guys.
Rolodex in sports. We've talked about it for years.